I'm the co-president of the Clean Technology Club here, started here at UC Davis GSM. We started as an organization whose mission is to educate ourselves about clean technology and to reach out to industries and learn about the industry and hopefully obtain a career in clean technology. Our vision is to create agents of change in this industry, and we hope to do so by bringing together people who are interested in policy, academia, and industry. I'm very excited today for our panel. We will be discussing three main themes: which clean technologies are poised to attract investment dollars, which financing vehicles are available to clean technology companies, and which financing vehicles are appropriate for companies in different stages of growth. Joining us here today, moderating this event is Ben Finkelor, who is the Executive Director of the Energy Efficiency Center, and I am very excited to see what our great panel has to say today, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Ben. Thank you. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, so pleased to be here. Thank you, Rich, and I'm an alum from the GSM, so I graduated in 2004 from the daytime program, so it's always nice to be here. Of course, when I was a student, we weren't in this building, so it's nice to be in the new building. So that's really fun. You know, I'm going to give a quick, brief introduction as both as a way of modeling what I want our panelists to do, which is a brief introduction of themselves. Because I actually only know Gary for some time, and I'm meeting Louis, Mark, and Don for the first time, but I'm looking forward to learning more about each of you during the course of this session. But I'm going to just briefly introduce myself and give them a chance to introduce themselves, and then we're going to jump in, I think, to the discussion. And there is a diverse set of interests in the room, it sounds like, but I think there's enough diversity there to really spark some good dialogue. And so my hope is that we'll have a perhaps sometimes heated, I'm hoping it gets heated in here, but always civil discussion. So Gary, that's a hint for you to really stir the pot here. I know you can do that. And based on the smiles I'm seeing from other panelists, we're going to get some, maybe not fist fights, but at least some good discussion. So my background, I'm the Executive Director for the Energy Efficiency Center. We focus on the demand side of the energy efficiency equation. I have an MBA from the GSM here, and when I graduated, I ended up working for Gary Simon and Mark Henwood right after I graduated, and I ended up helping write and then manage a research project with the Energy Commission, which ended up starting the CleanStart, which is the local business incubator in Sacramento that helps clean energy technology companies. I since came over to UC Davis to launch the Energy Efficiency Center. I've been here 5 years, and we have a successful program that accelerates the development and commercialization of energy efficiency technologies, whether they're invented here at UC Davis or outside, and we try to get those into the market, as well as train future leaders in energy efficiency, some of which have already introduced themselves. These are future agents of change. The existing current agents of change that we have featured here are our panelists. So I'm going to start from left to right here. Gary, do you want to introduce yourself? And then I'm going to give you each a follow-up question, which I'm going to give you a chance to think about. Okay? So Gary, you got to introduce yourself, and you're the one who's on the spot. The rest of you get a free few minutes to think about it. Is what personal financial transaction have you been involved with most recently that you can share with us? And so you get extra points if it's personal, like your own residence or your own vehicle or your own personal asset. But if that's not an investment, you still get points if you can talk about your latest deal, as it were. So Gary,
okay,
you're up.
So I've been on virtually all sides of this financing question. I've been, like a number of you, maybe in the future, begging for money. I've also run a corporate venture fund. I've run big companies, I've run small companies. So I've taken 2 companies through IPO, one of which thereafter went bankrupt, one of which I'm now the chairman of the board, and it's survived. I've written many checks to a privately held company that we turned around, rescued out of the trash bin. That was in Boston, and we're currently involved in a rescue here in Sacramento of a company, some friends of mine. So he already said I co-chair the CleanStart program with my partner Mark Henwood from the Sacramento area, Regional Technology Alliance. My most fun financing problem in rescuing a company was a company of which I was inadvertently president in Argentina. And that's an interesting story, doing business in Argentina, particularly when you don't speak Spanish beyond about the second semester. And the one that was the most fun, oddly enough, was rescuing a utility that got itself in deep trouble, that had defaulted on $7 billion in loans. And it was fun because at that point, you owned the bank. They couldn't possibly foreclose and survive, and they didn't foreclose. So that was good. Worst experience is trying to raise money for a small startup company that was on its heels. And that had to be done through personal relationships, not through any great business plan. So I guess that's several experiences actually writing checks. But the ones that were the most fun, when we refinanced the $7 billion of debt, I just remember, and transferring the money that had to come in and go out to a whole bunch of people, every minute that we delayed hitting the wire transfer button was another $500 in interest that we got on that money. So literally there were 34 people lined up in computers to send the money out to everybody we owed money to. And the clock was ticking until you got within like 5 minutes of the wire transfer deadline, and everyone hit the button at the same time. So I've never had the experience of actually earning $500 a minute by delaying. That was fun.
Well, hopefully that wasn't my bad. A little bit of, I guess, talk about the background and something that, maybe a more recent, like deal, right? Yeah. So how I came in the emerging markets role doing clean tech financing was, it wasn't a grandiose plan. It just happened that about 2007, I got hired by the chairman of the bank to go out and buy a bank in Vietnam. So then I joined the bank, went out to Asia once a month, spent about 10 days in Vietnam, found a bank, completed due diligence, signed MOU, got the boards from our bank and from the bank in Vietnam to decide to proceed forward. Then the economy crashed. So we kind of put that on hold. Came back to the U.S., everything was like blowing up, and we were doing a lot of real estate financing at the time. And, we kind of came together and said, my goodness, what are we going to be doing? We can't do real estate. We can't do a lot of lending. And so we didn't want to go back to the same route again, doing a lot of real estate transactions. We didn't want to go back to that same, put ourselves into a situation where we could potentially go bankrupt. And so, I decided to kind of put a white paper together and says, what do we want to do going forward? And so the white paper was going after clean energy. The reason why clean energy was, and before this, I didn't know anything about solar.